What's up guys, Gordon Briley here with PhenoX Fitness, and today we're going to go over the chest press variations on the Maverick bar. And the first thing I want to talk about right away is the safety precaution. And this is actually the first setup. This is how you will, there is multiple variations, which I'm going to show you all of them. But for now, this is the first one I want to demonstrate. And for safety, this extension arm, the closest hole to the U fitting that goes around the crossbar is the only hole that you want to use the handles in. You do not want to have it down here on the lower extension arm hole. This is for deadlifts, making quick adjustments like that. But for chest press, you want to keep it on the top one. It was designed to have the handle slightly above the axis of the bar itself, the sleeves. And this increases stability, and if you lower the handle, it'll increase instability. So you only use it on this one. And as far as setup goes, for this one, we have the crossbar up, arms out, and I'm going to demonstrate that. But if you do not have the angled handles, because that's what's on here right now, you can see the pins are actually facing outward. And that's just to help you visualize what it should look like. And it's hole on the long bar. This is the bigger bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 and 5. Doesn't matter which way the pin goes in. And so now the angled handles are set up. If you did not want to buy, you didn't want the expense of the angled handles, you can buy the angled extension arm, and that will match essentially the handles themselves. The angle of the handle, it's pretty close. So this is just a cheaper way to be able to do angled grips, which we love the angled grips because it increases external rotation, which is going to stabilize the shoulder. It's going to be safer. If you had a shoulder injury or trying to avoid them, this is a great way to do that. Angled handles are used in all different kinds of lifts, but for this one, I wanted to demonstrate. Now, when it comes to gripping the bar, because it is open face, just like any other bar, you're going to have to find the center point to keep it stable. And I'll show this. And it's going to be really close to the end of the handle. So your hands are going to be in the center of the bar to keep the bar stable itself. I always like to pull it to the front of the rack to make sure you're far enough forward you can remove it from the J hooks. Now, when you lift it off, if it's unstable, then you want to adjust your grip and make sure that you have it centered so it'll stay balanced. Now, for me personally, I like to actually lift sometimes and create some instability or unbalance the bar, and I like to angle it down and press. Obviously, you're going to have to test that, make sure it feels okay, you feel safe and stable. Do it with very lightweight first, but that's one way to be able to press in slightly different ways. But again, right now, handles, the pin is outward, and we're reaching out to the center of the handle. As you go to pick it up, it should feel nice and stable. It shouldn't want to wobble around. So that's the first setup. Obviously with this, we can switch these handles out with the straight handles and have a neutral press very quickly. So it'll take some getting used to how to hold the bar, how to get the handles off, because when you pull the handles, you want to try to have them kind of balanced. You're not prying them metal on metal. You're trying to keep them nice and even when you're trying to pull them off, and they'll come off much easier. Again, it just all takes a little bit of practice, but the neutral handles, slide them down, always in the farthest hole towards the cross rail. And now you will have the neutral handles, which you can move these ones almost fully throughout this crossbar. So whether you want to hit more triceps, if you want a wider grip, all of these are going to be possible with the neutral handles. Again, it's going to be the same thing, making them nice and stable by getting them in the center. So if it feels unstable, don't lift it, set it down, adjust your hand slightly, get it centered, get it stable, and begin pressing. Easy peasy. So that's the first variation. You can see the arms are out of the rack. The crossbar is at the highest point, so you have a nice camber to get a deeper actual press. But all in all, this is pretty easy to set up. You'll have to get used to it. All the different things about the bar. This is not like any other bar. So it is going to be different. It's going to feel different. It's going to take some time to get used to. But when you do get used to it, it's beautiful because you have so many different options. All right, so here is the next variation I like. Again, this only stays on the top hole of the extension arm, the one all the way up, closest to the crossbar. But this one is arranged in a different way. We can see the crossbar is in the rack. The cambered arms are actually out, extending away from the rack. And now it's in a vertical upright position rather than being with the arms out in the horizontal position. Right now I have the neutral handles. It would be the same concept with the angled handles. But now what's going to change is the fact that the location of the sleeves are now here and they're not out farther, so you're actually going to have to grip right near the beginnings of the handles here to balance it. Obviously you're going to pick it up and see if it is balanced. Test it first, you're good to go, get in position, and then now you're going to have maximal depth to press this bar. So all the same concept, except the handle position is different. You have a little more room to press. This one feels great, but it's just a different variation to try. See what you guys like, see what you don't like, and then put it in your routine and start getting some gains. So this is the more vertical version. Hands again are much closer to the beginning of the handle. And give this one a try. All right guys, so here's another setup variation for chest press, and this one's going to allow you to actually press like a more traditional barbell. So with this one on the the large bar, it's hole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 and 6, and then this is the only one, because of the way that it's set up, that you can put the handle in the low position, so the farthest one away from the U-fitting on the extension arm. This is the only time that you'll be able to do this because of the way that it's actually set up. It's in the vertical position, and when you have your hands here, it's going to essentially self-balance once you have weight on it. So that one you don't really have to think about it too much. So I'm going to demonstrate it. This is again on the top hole this time. As far as the setup goes, you can see that the crossbar is inside the rack. The arms are down towards the outside. So the actual arms coming down this way are now facing downwards, but they're outside of the rack. And the crossbar is inside, so just for general setup. Now, I'm just going to demonstrate. With it set up this way, because technically I could take this, spin the whole handle so the handle is in this way, and it would be a narrower grip, but this allows me to go as wide as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and press it off. It's going to balance itself, but you can see that you can press like a more traditional barbell. So this is another variation of the chest press. This is one again that this is the only one that you can press on the outside hole of the extension arm. Always check your pop pins, make sure that they click in, just to keep safe. And for now, I believe that's all you'll need to know on this variation. Give it a try, let me know what you think. All right guys, so now I'm going to show you one of my favorite lifts that I've never been able to really do on any other bar before. And this is actually a reverse grip press. And like I said, this is one of my favorite ones. So the setup is the same exact setup as the first setup that was on this video. And the crossbar is higher, the arms are extending out. What you're going to have to do to find the center, just like you would if the handles were angled the other way, is your hands are going to be near the end. You got to find balance, lift it up first, check it to see if your grip is good, and then get into position so you can get it off this safely, and then you can press. As always, you're going to want the handles in the most upright position only. And this is definitely one I would suggest giving a try. Try it with lightweight first, get used to it. But this one does feel great. It's an angle that you traditionally, it's difficult to hit with angled handles. So give that one a try. Let me know what you guys think. And for now, that's basically most of the setups. There's going to be a lot of different things that you could figure out, but floor presses is one that I would be very careful of. It's definitely easy to do, but that bar at any point could fold down or fall forward, and obviously if you're under that, so I would be very cautious. I actually have it out in front of me and only roll it above me when I'm ready to lift. I don't have it, I'm not underneath it while it's in the upright position on the jack. So that's just something to think about. If you're going to do floor presses, be really careful that that bar cannot fall onto you. Always bring it on when you're ready to start lifting, and don't let go of those handles. But for now, that's some of the chest press variations. Let me see what you guys are doing, but stay safe. If you're going to try anything that we haven't shown you, you're going to have to test it with zero weight. Make sure there's someone there to make sure you're safe. Just be cautious. I love that you guys are going to try new things and really show what this bar is capable of, but you have to do it safe. So thanks for listening, guys.